Hey ladies, it is Marriage Monday, and today I wanted to talk about a few ways that we can show our husbands respect. It's really interesting when you read Ephesians 5, it calls the wife to submit to him and to respect him, just like it calls the husband to love us. That doesn't mean that they don't need to respect us, and that doesn't mean that we don't need to love them, of course, but why is it so specific on women? Wives, respect your husbands. It is in our natural tendency to want control and to want to be in charge. It is part of the curse in Genesis. The fall of man, the curse that God gives to Eve, desire to control him. And so since we desire to control them, we struggle with submitting to them, and we struggle with respecting them because we think that since we want control, that our way is always the better way. And so we are presented with a very difficult command from the Lord to respect our husband. And sometimes practical little ways in how to do that go a long way. So here are a few. If you're new to my channel, my name is Alana, and my channel is all about marriage, homemaking, healthy living, and homeschooling, and I would love for you to subscribe. So obviously there are countless ways that we can show respect to our husband, but I just wanted to bring up a few simple things. One is to not disregard his wishes, to respect his wishes. Now, I am not talking about when your husband goes into the kitchen that he never cooks in and says, you should do things this way. There have been many of those conversations in my 13 years, and every time I'm like, baby, I respect your opinion, but since I'm the one in here cooking every meal, can I run it the way I need to run it? Because you and I function very differently, and this is the way that seems to work best for me. So thanks for the input, but no thanks. I'm gonna keep things going the way I have them going. So I'm not talking about I need to say, oh, he wants me to put knives in this drawer instead of this drawer, so okay, I'm gonna do that now. Of course not. You can talk to your husband. Of course, if he said you have to put knives in this drawer and this drawer needs to be over here, then yeah, I would submit. I don't think he would do that because that would be really strange. But if he did, for some crazy reason, I would. An example that I can think of in my marriage that is kind of funny, but shows the heart of my desire to respect my husband was way in the beginning. When we first got married, we used to light candles pretty frequently, and he would watch me light the candles with the match and then throw the match in the trash, and he told me never do that. Always wet the match before you throw it in the trash. And even when he was not around, I would honor that. And the Lord was honored in that because he saw that my true desire was to respect my husband, even when he wasn't there watching. So do not disregard his wishes. Do not ignore his requests. Something else that's very practical that I think we can be very mindful of is our speech towards our husbands. That's going to include the way that our voice sounds, our tone of voice, as well as what our words are, you guys. We don't want to be sarcastic or be making verbal jabs at them. We do not want to be correcting them constantly. I see this and I'm always like, because I'm like, just be quiet, just be quiet. Wives correcting their husband in front of people. 5 minutes. No, actually it was 3 minutes. It's like, don't correct him. Who cares? Like, just let him talk, you know? And that is always really hard for me. I just watch the husband and I'm like, oh my goodness, you poor thing. Because it's embarrassing to be disrespected by your wife in front of people. And of course, spoken down to in front of people, or even, you know, at home in privacy. We do not want to be speaking down to our husbands, be sarcastic to them, be unkind to them with our words or with our tone of voice, and please avoid quarreling or correcting them in front of people. Don't bicker in front of people. Don't do the little back and forth thing. Well, back and forth, that is awfully embarrassing and really awkward for the people there with you watching. And that's something that you can control by just zipping it. Something else that I'm sure we can all relate to is don't always have a better idea. If your husband says, let's do this, yeah, it's okay to talk about, well, what about this? There's nothing wrong with that. But when there's an opportunity to just show them respect and go along with their idea, take it. You know, there are definitely times where you need to talk and figure things out and hash things out, sure. But if there's an opportunity for you to show him, you know what, baby, I'm gonna follow whatever you want and just go with it, then take that opportunity. That will bless them, that will make them feel respected. Something else is if you are trying to make a decision and you're like indifferent on what you're gonna do, this or that, ask them. They love being asked for guidance and to watch you take their advice. There have been many times where I've asked and then he's given me his idea or his suggestion, and I've been like, but, and then I'm like, why did I even ask? If I wasn't gonna take what he said, then why did I even ask? I should have just dealt with it myself, you know? So be ready to do what they suggest if you're gonna ask them, because then it just becomes worse than if you didn't ask in the first place. Another way that we can show respect to our husbands is when they do something for us, don't go behind them fixing it. Yeah, my dishes are put in all sorts of wrong places, and I leave them there because how discouraging for my husband to go out of his way to bless me by doing something for me, and then me coming behind him like, thanks, but no thanks. You did it wrong, you know? And of course, you know, you're gonna have those people that are like, well, I'll just correct him kindly, da, da, da. Sure, yeah, you can correct him kindly. But my point is, they like to just be followed. So when you have that opportunity, take it, because that is so much more powerful than you having a civil conversation about why you think the cups are better in this cupboard. Just don't fix it, just leave it. And one more thing, support his decisions. If he decides something, even if you've had to discuss it, he knows you feel differently than he does, and he explains his thought process behind it, and you still are not on board, and he goes through with it or moves forward with it, support him. Why oppose him? Why? What is that gonna do? Why bring that lack of unity and that chaos into your home? If he's gonna move forward with it, just support him and trust God. God is in control. Just trust the Lord. And then if his decision ends up being a failure and goes bad, do not say, I told you so. Let him know that you are there with him through the thick, through the thin, and encourage him instead in the sovereignty of God and in the fact that the Lord's in control. And yep, we tried this, it didn't work out. It's okay. I'm here with you. We're together through it. Those are just a few ways that we can show our husbands respect. Of course, there are countless others. I would love to hear some things that you guys put into practice in your marriages. So please share in the comments below, and have a wonderful Monday. Please subscribe.